Here's a bit of a different review for you guys. Excuse me if this fucks with you. Echo, turn on all lights. Man, the wind is blowing today. Ta-da! Welcome to... I have to give him a shout out, because here's the thing, I always do reviews, like when I did my bidet review, that was because the bidet changed my life. And the KASA stuff is changing my life. Because I have a friend, my friend Dan, the man from Japan, IT man. He's got a channel, I'll link in the description. He is my home automation guru. And when I'm like, look, my house is stupid, and I got this directly from the owner. He said, yeah, we had the electricians and we just told them to do whatever. Never do that. Never ever as a home builder just give a blank check to electricians, because you end up with like, I've had so many 3-way and 4-way switches in this house that when I came here to look at the property to purchase it before when the owner, first time I was here, I walked into this kitchen, I walked through this door, hold on. And I went, can you turn the lights on in the kitchen? And the old man had to hit that switch, this switch, and these 2 switches to turn the lights on in the kitchen. And I was like, well, that's stupid. And it was like the first thing I knew I had to do was control the lights. Now, in my old apartment, I had basically just track lights in the ceiling, which had a box plugged into them, and there was Z-Wave, and it used the Samsung smart things. And my friend who helped me, Dan, IT man, was like, look, I know one thing about automation. Companies suck. Absolutely true. You know how many times I couldn't turn on or off my lights because the Samsung smart thing server in Beijing or Florida or Idaho or goddamn Canada just stopped responding? Literally, I'm standing in my house and I couldn't turn off my own lights. So he's like, look, TP-Link, you've heard of TP-Link, right? They make like networking cards and they make networking equipment. They make these switches, which either look like this, which, let's see, this is a 3-way, and this is a single-ended, so they got some different connections. I don't have a dimmer one. We're gonna have to look at it. They all came with plates. My God, so many plates. But they also make, wait, is it there? Yes, it is there. Excuse me while I skate around in my shoes. Little plug adapters like this. And so I say, Echo, turn off the gallery lights. It goes off. And there's no external talking to a server. Yes, when I ask the Alexa device there to do something, she is asking the internet, what the fuck did this guy just say and want me to do? So I am sort of like trapped in that sort of manner. But as long as my phone is connected to my home network, these devices only register on my home network. They don't go out, they don't talk out there, they don't get updated firmware unless like you're in the app and it's talking you with the app to the internet. So here is everything that is currently automated in my house. And this took weeks to install. Mostly because he's more like a certified electrician than I am, and I don't want to climb into my walls, and then when there's a fire, I blame myself. That sucks. But I also had to order this stuff. I have, should I go through the list from the top to the bottom? Because it groups it. All kitchen lights is here. Smart plugs. I have 3 Christmas light plugs. Christmas light 1. Look how fast it is. Because it's not talking to a server anywhere to ask that permission to turn it on or off. Christmas lights 3 are there. Christmas lights 2 is still unplugged. Wait, why are you marked 3 if you're 2? Damn it. You get to take pictures. Like if I want to turn on these tube amps here. There's another one of those bricks right there. Listen. Tube amps are now on. Now I could have asked her to do it. And my friend is not done yet because I don't want to ask fucking that bitch that gets everything wrong all the time. We're going to have cheap Amazon Fire tablets mounted, like one here, maybe one in the master bedroom, one on the kitchen counter, so that I can just go to it and go, lights, I'll have an updated video on that probably on my second channel, the unboxing channel, which Zeos in the future will link in the description of this video. I was going to just show you, here's everything I've ordered that has the KASA in the title of it. 3 sets of 4. No, wait, that's items. 2 sets. I have 8 of these because I just keep using them, like especially for Christmas lights. I go to order more for Christmas lights so I could just have the Christmas lights on during the day and off at night. Because I will go through the scheduling and everything, how amazing this fucking app is and how responsive everything is. Because I'm excited, because this is what Zeos does. But you all need your wallpaper. So anyway, smart plugs, then these single pole switches, I ordered a bunch of those. Single pole, those are ones that can't dim. Those are ones that are just on off. Like for example, let me see, entryway lights. These lights here don't need dimming. They're just, you're either on or they're off. And when they're off, every switch, when you turn it off, has a little ring light that indicates where it is at night. I cannot implore you to how nice that is, because you could actually just see in the dark. Oh, and then these are the dimmers, which have the ability to, well, dim, in case you're wondering what the dimmer did. And these 2 are actually for the top, I want to call them roof lights, but people argue that that isn't the roof. That isn't your roof, Zeos. That's a ceiling. And I'm like, fuck you. It's built into the roof. So I ended up calling them great room lights. And then she can't hear and understand what I'm doing anyway. So if you turn them off, we got so much to talk about. Oh, this is exciting stuff. So once they're off and you have the little things, then you can hit the brightness and dimmer. And you just set where you want it to come on when you hit the button. So that one I want to come on 50%, and that one to come on 100%. And then they do. So you could just set it. So if you wake up or it's dark and you don't want to turn the lights on and then dim them, you go dim on. Let's see what we got. Christmas tree lights, $5,000 German tube amp. I used to have the audio valve on it, so I labeled it $5,000 German tube amp, so I got to yell at Alexa to turn on the $5,000 German tube amp. A recirculator pump. This one's actually super important. One of these plugs, the Christmas light plugs, one of those little things, is under my kitchen sink here, and completely in control of a water recirculating pump that pulls hot water through my pipes and into that sink so that I have hot water in the house on the lines all the time. The reason that's important is because the unit comes with a timer, and the timers are fantastic. But timers don't know when you go on vacation. They don't know when you leave the house for 16 hours. And frankly, I don't want to have the pump pulling hot water and therefore generating new hot water when I'm not home. So it's on here, and when I say, hey, I'm going out for the weekend, Alexa, or shut it off, I can literally just turn the recirculating pump off. Automatically, this is going to pay for itself just for having this system. Room lamp is there, stupid lamp, and TV backlight. These are the 3 things. These are the other things that are all this sort of block. They do not make, it pisses me off, the only like chink in the armor is that they don't make a dimmable version of this. They just make appliance ones. This is actually the mini one. This is called the mini. And it's only capable of handling how many amps? 15 amps. There are bigger ones that can handle more amperage than that. They're all very nicely built, by the way, the switches. I could show you, this is a single pole or a 3-way, which would you'd have to have the special wiring, because this can integrate with a normal 3-way wiring switch. Why would you want to? Underneath the switch, there's these 2 it's a little rocker button that you could pick. And this side is reset and this side is restart. So if you have an issue with it, and oh, setting one up is like child's play. Hold on, I gotta.
Yeah.
Pasta is messaging me. She's in the middle of the baby. I can't risk playing.
I hope he gets fired.
Pasta's a lovely person. Please ignore everything I just heard. These are super useful. Like literally $30 for 4. And you don't need a server, you don't need a hub, and you just plug them in, and the app is the easiest thing ever, because you hit add, and it's like, which device? Device or group? Device. And then it's like, well, here's what we have: cameras, smart plugs, smart lights, smart switches, smart routers, right? And it's obviously a smart plug, and you would say it's a smart plug light mini, and then it would say, is it blinking? Which I've actually paired them all now, unfortunately, so you can't see me go through the process. But it essentially just, once the app knows your Wi-Fi name and password, which one you want to use, it'll blink orange and green. You'll say this one. If you have multiple devices, like when we were changing out all these outlets, we had this obviously shut off the circuit breakers, and then 3 of them come on. If this faceplate wasn't on here, which this faceplate will actually just come off because it's, you can't see it anyway. Never mind. The MAC addresses that are for the units to be seen on the network are written plainly in black and white on top, so you could see in the list which MAC address you're currently pairing. It feels like this was built by a company that actually gave a shit. Like, this was the easiest setup ever. You just turn on the circuit breakers. Oh, I got 5 new devices. Add, which one is this MAC address? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you want to name it. You want to do dimmer adjustment, dimmer calibration, so that because a lot of times LEDs, when you dim them past a certain point, will just shut off. So everything has a dimmer calibration. So the better your bulbs, the more expensive your bulbs, probably the lower you can get that dim before it like errors in some way. So that's why the globe lights, those things that are pointing up, are like those expensive 13. The ones I have in the ceiling / roof, and those are the same. Those are 250 watt equivalent 25 watt LED spotlights or floodlights, and they can dim to like almost nothing, which is fantastic. In fact, Echo, Great Room Lights 1. That's how dim they'll go. They'll go to like, they're on, but they're not really like producing any light. So that's beautiful for like nighttime if you want to just have like an air of mood. Anime cabinet. For those of you who haven't been up here in a while, this is obviously not for anime figurines, but it's my house, and I can control it if I want to. As a good example, in fact, let's put back on. See the gallery light? This was 4 switches. I had to put blanks in here. And then that's the anime cabinet. Because there were so many 3-way switches. Oh my God, it hurt. It hurt how many 3-way switches there were. This switch here and 1 switch over there by the door and that one over there was just for that front bay of lights. What? It was insane. And now, and once you can group them together, and grouping them together in the KASA app is not the same as if you want to have her do things. I keep pointing at Alexa over there, by the way. So you have to group them in the Alexa app. But once I move off of this, like all kitchen lights off is all kitchen lights off. And it actually dims a little bit better through the app than it does through her. Because I gotta go through, finish this up, okay. So anime cabinets there, bank 1, 2, 3, and 4 are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are 4 different switches. All of them 3-way at least, or this one 4-way. So, and they're all set to 1 right now. So let's actually take bank 1 and we can set the brightness. You could either go with the brightness and you could individually ramp it up to, you know, actually it's too bright for you guys, hold on. To 31% or something, 18%, we could turn it up. Or on the top here is just, you could just jump to 100. In fact, when you're on this screen, you could just do off. And I have them set to slow fade off because you can. Or you could just jump to what you want there. Let's see, presets schedule. I don't think I have any schedules on that. We'll go to one high schedule. So 4 banks of lights up there. The deck lights, which the back there is a deck. And it's non-dimmable because I don't use the deck yet that much. And if you just go out there, it's dark as shit anyway. Entryway lights, gallery lights, guest bedroom fan, which unfortunately when you have like a fan light combo, you have no option but off and on, so single pole. So hopefully I don't accidentally turn guest lights on. But it's nice if you're laying in bed and you have the fan set, you can be like, turn the guest fan on. And you're laying there, you don't have to get out of bed to turn the fan on because your ass is sweating. It happens, ass sweat happens, fight me. Kitchen front, yeah, here's the 4 zones for the kitchen. Actually, there's 5 zones for the kitchen if you count the under cabinet lights. But I'm gonna show you this now on camera because I haven't changed them yet, ignore the frying pan. The under, show you this on camera. The under cabinet lights are, wait, will this one blink? I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's like a 12-volt rail that uses like car lights that get hot. So they're hot incandescent, so I don't usually turn them on. But that's the five zones. There's rear, then these 4 are front, and then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are main, and then you have the fucking island lights. Which, by the way, you know these did this? That's cool as shit. If you're like eating and you don't want to go blind, you could pull those down. The real estate agent was like, make sure you don't change this out, and I didn't know why, because I didn't know they did that till like a week after owning the house. I was like, oh my God, that's cool. But yeah, so 4 or 5 zones, depending on how you want to look at it, for the kitchen. Master bedroom, I actually changed out the par 38 lights, which I'm not going to take you fully into my bedroom because it's too sexy in here. In fact, we'll get to those lights. So these are par 38 lights, which I specifically changed out to Sylvania's, because if I go to the brightness, look how dim I can make these lights. Wait for it, wait for it. Oh, that's basically off. It's not off, but it's basically off. So that's one. And then the master bedroom fan, which is currently on, but the switch isn't pulled. North globe. Office closet light is there, which is this random. There's my office closet. That was a globe. What the fuck good is a globe up there? So I made that just like, it's very dramatic. I should put my calendar on this door. Office fan, which is currently on. We could turn that off. The pantry lights we've already seen over there, which I combined 2 switches for because it was stupid. The only thing that's like automatic is this bathroom is on a standard automated like light switch that I put blue tack or white tack over so it doesn't detect when I'm walking past it. So that's not updated. I don't need that to be updated. You can do that, but it's got an office fan. Pantry lights, we combined 2 switches into one because this cabinet, by the way, liquor, if you want to come to my house, we could have some good, this Stillhouse, I've got a shout out to Stillhouse, America's Finest. It's great. Thank you to Frank for sending out the Westward American, and the rest is just, I don't even drink. I do drink occasionally, but I don't even drink. And then you like this and the hallway light, which I have currently the bulbs unscrewed because it's just a terrible plastic fixture. We're separate from this. So I made that all one, just one, like if I'm going in there, I'm going in there. Let's see what we got. Porch lights. So the porch is the front. Oh my God, those windows are dirty. I just cleaned these, holy shit. I have to take a picture, hold on everyone. I need to take my camera out because that is the darkest sky for the brightest sun I've ever seen. Oh my God, I live in a paradise. Except I can't leave because COVID. All right, but anyway, those are porch lights. So there's the ones out there. So these are all just single poles. We've got this space. This is actually the 3-way. The only 3-way I set up so far is I can turn these entryway lights on here and I could turn them off there because it's the only time I'm going to come into the house, turn this on, or I could even like set up perimeters where if my phone gets close enough, things just happen. And then the outside lights are there. Oh God, stop looking at those terrible fucking pictures of people. Oh, the ones I have to show you, the sex lights. I have one here labeled sex lights, and that is those, the actual flaming globes. Ohms, by the way. So I can just in the middle of the night be like, Echo, turn on the sex lights. Echo, turn on the sex lights. There we go. Sex lights have happened. And these, by the way, are the speakers that are coming off of my Echo Dot. Stop. Off the little Lox-G. And unfortunately, these do have 3 modes where I can click them on 3 times and they'll go to 3 different positions. Solid orange, flame, or like, I don't know who would need I'll link to these bulbs, by the way, because they're the best ones I found. Because they actually look like, wait, they actually look like flames. Look at them. I have these everywhere. I have these outside. And they use approximately 2 watts. So you could just leave those on all fucking day and no one will even care. Like your bills won't care, nothing will care. So that's what the sex lights look like. The globes are the ones that are pointing up. The sun came back out again. I fucking love sun. Sunroom, which is where I do my where I sit down and watch my own reviews to get the links. I don't want to do it in the basement. I want to do it in my little area. So boom, Sunroom Fan, which this is going to come in real handy when I actually have the fan on and it's not the middle of winter. The Veranda Lights, because I've been told this, because people have been educating me on houses, even though I studied architecture, my granddaddy was a die cutter. Your porch can only be on the front door. That's where a porch is. It has to be covered. I believe it has to be covered, and it has to be the main entrance to a home is a porch. Now a deck is usually uncovered towards the rear of a house. So what the fuck does that make this thing? Where's your wallpaper? You guys are fucking... See, you gotta wait for this K6 to wake up. Boom, it's cute as hell. KASA, that girl's name is now KASA. Download that in the description. So I got this covered front porch, but it's not a front porch because we're not in the front. Oh my God, it's cold. Holy shit. This is the veranda, apparently, because it's a covered thing that's not a porch. And those are off and these are off, but we'll go over that for a second. Because for massive curb appeal, to make my curb appeal pee hard, the Veranda Lights are on a schedule. Let me show you the schedule for the Veranda Lights. So there's 3 entries in this. It turns off at sunrise. They turn off at sunrise. They're on all night. At sunset, here's the schedule. At sunset, use a preset, go to 50% brightness with a fade rate of 30 minutes. So at sunset, when that sun goes behind the mountains and it starts getting a little bit darker outside, these lights over here will turn on at 1%, 2%, 3%. For 30 minutes, it'll go up. And you can choose up to, here it's 60 minutes, but you can go into the thing and say a specific fade rate of up to 90 minutes. Which I don't know, you ever been to a restaurant when you're eating a steak dinner? Here, I'll stare at the wallpaper while I argue. Ever been to a steak dinner and you all of a sudden they just dim the lights like crazy? I mean, remember we can go out and have a steak dinner? Unless you're in Idaho and you're fucking just hanging out in Shoney's. Because my friend, Serial, who's a trucker, took a picture in New Mexico where there's no chairs or anything in a restaurant because fuck you, COVID. And then he went to Idaho and it's literally a packed Shoney's or whatever the fuck restaurant he was in, Perkins. And I'm like, don't go to Idaho, it's terrible. But when they used to just dim the lights real quick, if they had this app, they could just literally set it for either a specific time or at sunrise or sunset, because it knows via the internet, the app knows via the internet when sunrise and sunset is. Actually, it probably wouldn't even need to know via the app. It just needs to know the date. The sunrise and sunset don't change per year. So at sunset, when that sun is just going down, the lights start coming up for 30 minutes. I had it longer, but longer meant it was still dark when these were coming up. So I shortened the 30 minutes. I do the same thing with these bulbs. So literally I can never come out of my basement or I'd come out of my basement at night. I go into my basement and it'd be right now, what time is it now? 5 o'clock? And then I'm down there for an hour and a half. I come up to my upstairs and it's just pitch black. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So the globe lights come on at sunset as well. And in 10 minutes, they fade up. And then at 11 o'clock, it's another thing, because that's not the only thing edit schedule close at. At 11 o'clock, which is roughly the time I'm going to bed and I don't want to bother my neighbors because they could all see my porch or my veranda. My fucking bad. I have them dim from 50% to 25%. 100's way too bright. 100's like fucking the sun out there. Those are 120 watt equivalent LED fixtures. So I mean, that's a routine, man. That's a variable routine. That's at sunset, slowly come up. At 11 o'clock at night, which is all right, you don't really want to be the brightest house on the hill. Just drop that shit down. stay on all night because fuck how dark it is out in here in this fucking woods, essentially. And then as soon as the sun comes up, just shut off. They could do a fade out. They could do like a 10-minute fade out with the sun coming up. I don't care. Just shut it off. I don't care. I have it set up to do night modes. If I say, see, here's the thing. If I tell her I'm going to bed, if I say turn on night mode, it'll turn the recirculator pump off. Because if I go to bed before the recirculator pump sleeps at night, because I have it set at midnight, the recirculator pump shuts off. And at 8:30 in the morning, the recirculator pump comes on. Because I'm obviously not using hot water in the middle of the night and I don't need to be pumping. So I can override that by going to bed early. But usually if it's like 1, 2 in the morning, if I don't have hot water, it's because I have it scheduled that way. There should be ways, once I have the home lab setups, so that it just detects that my phone has been used. As long as my phone is active, I'll have hot water. As soon as my phone becomes inactive for like a 20-minute period after this time of night, it probably doesn't need to pump out hot water. So the app, the KASA app that does all of this, and here's your cameras, which I don't have any. Here's my 2 scenes. I have a rainy day scene. Would I wake up and it's just like overcast and terrible? I can say, hey, turn on rainy day. And it just sets all the lights to like where it isn't quite as depressing out, which I do enjoy. Did that even function? There it goes. So rainy day does, yeah, those come on, these come on, the kitchen comes on about this dimness. I think it turns on that. And then if I hit night mode, hold on, I'll hit night mode. Is it gonna work? There we go. Everything shuts off. Except for, yeah, that's off, anime cabinet's off. This row of lights stays on, so if I come out of the bedroom in the middle of the night to take a leak, I can just do that. Or I don't take a leak in my kitchen. I can just get something out of my fridge. The other thing you can do is I have these lights here set to, if I hold the button down, here's my dimmer switch for my bedroom. Sex lights are here, obviously. If I hold this down, these lights didn't go off. Zeos, why didn't your bedroom lights go off? Aha, they are going off for 90 seconds. For 90 seconds, these lights will go off. So I've hit that button, taking my clothes off, rubbing, olive oil all over my body to keep me young. I'm setting up my oxygen mask or a ball gag, and I'm just getting in bed while the lights are just slowly dimming. Because I had this theory, and it's been proven by science apparently, that when you have lights just go off, the human doesn't really know how to react to that, because real humans are animals. We're supposed to be living in like the woods or the forest or some shit. Let me close this. And close. There's so many sliding doors. There's so many pocket doors. So we're not supposed to, as humans, know what it's like to have lights go from on to off. So everyone's like, oh, blue light on your phone is bad. You want to have no blue light in your phone. Try not having lights that just go off when you go to bed. This is my own little piece of advice. This is like, everyone's like, Zeos, when are you going to do another life hacks video? This is a life hack. Having the lights slowly dim over a period of 90 seconds. As you're in bed, you dim your phone screen down. You're closing your eyes. It's getting nice and beautiful out. And the thing is, you don't have to set it for 90 seconds. I specifically programmed it to be 90 seconds. You could do it for 2 hours. Well, no, 2 hours. I think 90 minutes is as long as you can go. But after I'm in bed and now my things are on, it's going to the lowest possible settings. It's time to go to bed. And you're in bed. I was going to have my friend program a custom thing to do that before I knew this all existed. So I just want to thank KASA for not sponsoring this video and costing me literally, how much did it cost me? I should have done the math on it. The dimmers are not cheap. They were like $36 for 3. And you've seen my list of how many things. I've probably spent somewhere in the range of $500 to $600 on KASA hardware. But there's no hub, there's no communication with the outside world. It's all local network. I can literally load up my routing profile and see every device and every MAC address and know exactly what is what if I would have kept track of all the numbers. So with the last 2 things, smart actions, turn on all the kitchen lights, turn on all the roof lights. There are smart actions, and then obviously you have activity and you can see what you've done like no events, no events. If you have triggers set up, do things like that. Discover KASA is just advertisements. So yes, home automation, honestly, not that expensive. $600 maybe maximum with every light in my house now. The only thing that's left is I have the 2 3-way switches here, and these are going to go on my basement lights. I'm going to combine my basement lights currently consist of this switch here, which is a 3-way switch to the bottom, and it just turns on this one light, which is lame, and then all my basement lights. So I'm just going to combine all my basement lights to that. I'm going to put another one up here so that this switch does all my basement lights, or down there does all my basement lights, and up here. That's it. Then my house is officially done. Oh wait, I am going to put a dimmer. God, that sun. I am going to put a dimmer in my garage once I can get Wi-Fi reaching out to the garage, so that I can, if I forget to turn off the garage lights, or just fuck it, I leave my garage with the lights on, come in here and just hit a button. Or, oh, there's another thing I was able to do. Let me put on some lights. Oh, I just turned those off. Echo, all lights 100. See, if you tell it all lights 100, if you tell it a percentage, she won't turn on single pole switches. So this didn't come on.
Sorry, I don't know that.
You wouldn't know that. That didn't come on because you can't set that to a brightness. So that only deals with the dimmers. It doesn't turn on the gallery, it didn't turn on the armory cabinet. If I say all lights and I have defined all lights as all lights, then it will turn on. So yeah, this was a sub $1,000 automation system that has no central server dependencies. It just all runs my IoT network, which I only have one network thing in the basement. Like, I haven't even put one up here yet. I'm probably gonna end up putting one either up under this cabinet, just to sort of cover this floor, or I don't want to put one in like up there. I feel like that would do great coverage, but why? Who the fuck's up in the mezzanine? Anyway, the wind is buffeting and the sun is going down. And I thank you all for joining me, because even if you live in an apartment, as long as you have the skills to change outlets, which frankly, it's more like a repetitive action and you can't fuck up. I had a little bit more trouble because of so many 3-ways and 4-way switches. Like the Veranda Lights, I hate saying that, by the way, it makes me feel like a pompous asshole. The Veranda Lights had a 4-way switch, which means 3 separate switches, one in the guest bedroom, one on here, and one in my bedroom, that all had to be taken apart, twisted together, or cut off for where was going to the lights versus where was coming from the service panel. So in order to figure that stuff out, I needed my friend. If you have a more simple solution, if you've never opened up an electrical box, go to YouTube. There's a ton of videos here on YouTube showing you how to safely deal with that. You get yourself an electrical sniffer. That's an important thing linked in the description that you can like touch to the things and say, am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? And if it says no, then you don't die, usually. But yeah, no, I just wanted to get this out there because I fucking love these things, man. TP-Link, you've taken the confusion out of home automation, especially for this sort of shit. I haven't gotten into the cameras. I'm sure they don't have any audio systems. And I wish they made a plug-in dimmer box, because there are some lights that I would rather have be dimmers than just appliance switches. Like, I'm obviously not dimming the tube amps, but the stupid lamp, we'll end on the fucking stupid lamp. Oh, I am gonna add one more, I should say, in the bathroom. Those I don't care about. Those I'm never gonna run dim, but this fucking thing, which is the ugliest piece of shit, glass, fuck you. I'm gonna replace this with a dimmer, with a smart dimmer, and I'm gonna take this down because this is not my style. No one wants to, that's like Haunted Mansion levels of like, who picked that? You know, I'm more of a Konosuba wallpaper sort of dude. So I'm gonna put a track light there with a T, and I'm gonna light the tub, which I don't use because the window's too cold. And that'll be the last dimmer. Echo, turn on the stupid lamp. There's your stupid lamp. Oh, I should probably point out that these also have a button on the side. So if you just want to turn on a light, if you are capable of touching it, you can just press this button on the side. So in this space here, I have this light because, again, these lights are terrible. If you just want to like, boop, there it is, it's on. There it is, it's on. Oh, one last thing. One last thing. Because I think it's cool, and I think if someone does this, it'd be fucking amazing. When I had a bunch of these, when I bought the 4-pack, I just stuck them all together to store them. Like I like plugged all 4 into a row. And then I realized you can make the most intricate like combination lock in the history of man. Because you'd have to know 4 separate passphrases. If you hid this and they couldn't touch it, you have to know 4 separate passphrases and say them in order, like an enchantment. And you'd have to get the first one on, and then you'd have to wait a specific amount of time for the second one to be recognized by the network, then say that enchantment so that the third one could come on. But if you missed one or I got out of order, it wouldn't work. So you could make an interesting combination lock out of just plugging a bunch of these into each other. Unfortunately, they all come. Every one of these switches come with single panels, which is not terrible, but I have like, how many switches did I buy? A lot. A lot. And here's my old Wemos. We're not going to get back into that, but TP-Links are the way to go. So thank you all for stopping by in this very strange, like, rant. But it's like the bidets. It's like something that this has improved my life wholeheartedly because I wouldn't turn on lights. For the first 3 months living in this fucking house, I was like, like these roof lights, I just didn't turn them on because it was a matter of walking there, and there to do anything with the lights. And then they had dimmers, but it was like you could never balance the dimmers. So I ended up putting on one, whichever the easiest one was on maximum, and then I shut it off at night. So if you find yourself not using like your home to its full abilities, fucking TP-Link KASAs. Anyway, wallpaper available in the description. Patreon and Subscribestar, which won't give a fuck about this video coming out early, although with Christmas it would have probably been beneficial because I have one of the plug things up there just to turn these Christmas lights on and off, obviously. They would have been cool. I should have thought about that too. But I could shut off the cat water dish if I felt like it with another one of these. No, the cat needs water all the time. Patreon, Subscribestar, see reviews early, participate in the yard sales, $10 tier, ask me any questions you want on Telegram, behind the scenes access. They've all known about this automation shit since I was doing it. I literally would video bubble it because I thought it was really interesting. I think we're good. Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guide forums. I'll link to the 4 different varieties of KASA stuff that I've used. Maybe if there's a KASA homepage. When an app doesn't offend me and actually is useful for doing things, and the hardware is the only other one little issue I've had is because these reset buttons are down here. If you screw in the plate too tight, sometimes it'll press them. So that's it. But that's like, not a single one of them has failed. One of them did lose its service history and I had to repair it. It was the one for the anime cabinet, probably because of spirits. It was like, no. So that's it. Everything else is great. Everything else is great. Except for that one will occasionally say it's off, but it's not off because the lights are on. But then it says it's off, but that's like 2 things in like the last, I've had this up and running properly for probably 3 weeks now. And it's changed my life. Echo, turn off all lights. See you tomorrow.